Have you guys ever heard of Mr. Nobody? And just so you know, no, we're not talking about the man from Fast and Furious. Apparently, there's a poem about a man that goes by the name of Mr. Nobody, and this is how the poem goes. I know a funny little man, as quiet as a mouse, who does the mischief that is done in everybody's house. There's no one who's ever seen his face, and yet we all agree that every plate we break was cracked by Mr. Nobody. He puts damp wood upon the fire that kettles cannot boil. His are the feet that bring in the mud and all the carpet soil. The papers always are mislaid, who had them last but he. There's no one tosses them about but Mr. Nobody. The finger marks upon the door by none of us were made. We never leave the blinds unclosed to let the curtains fade. The inks we never spill, the boots that laying around you see, are not our boots. They all belong to Mr. Nobody. Now that was just the poem. This is an actual creepypasta about Mr. Nobody, but it's a little bit different. In this creepy story, Mr. Nobody is supposed to be that feeling that you get when somebody is behind you. But in reality, there's nobody there. So this story is about a girl in her late 20s who takes care of her sick grandma in her old house. Ever since she was a kid, she always felt like there was something watching her in that house. Every time she slept over, she would wake up at random hours of the night, expecting somebody to be standing in her room. But there was nobody ever there. One time when she was 8, she could have sworn she saw a man in a hat standing in her doorway. She blinked her eyes once, and the man was gone. Things in her house started to move around. Even her own grandpa asked if she had touched them, but she didn't. One time she even saw dirty footprints in the house, leading to the basement stairs. Now as she got older, she wouldn't notice these things as much anymore as she did before. But every now and then, as she's brushing her teeth or doing her dishes, she would feel eyes watching her. On the grandma's last few days, the girl was standing by her bed holding her hands, but she noticed that the grandma was looking at something behind her. The girl says, "Grandma, I feel like something is behind me in this house my whole entire life. Please tell me what it is." The grandma then replied, "Oh, my love, it's Mr. Nobody. He's always been here."